Hi guys, so this is Crowded Tea, and today we're going to talk about the rename command. So one of the things that they have here on Earth is a 15-minute entity clear, and that means that it clears entities every 15 minutes. Any items that you drop on the ground and any unnamed animal. It does tell you in chat that if you wanted to keep your pets, you need to make sure that you name them. So you have to name absolutely everything, which means every single one of your bees need a name. All of your villagers need a name. Anything that you want as a pet needs to have a name. And that means that you have to go find name tags. So you can get name tags here on Earth the same way that you would in vanilla Minecraft. You can buy them from your maxed out librarian villagers. You can get them from fishing. You might find them in some loot chests somewhere. You know, why you gotta bother me when I'm making a video, man? So, because name tags are such an important part of here on Earth, that is one of the reasons why I sell in my shop named name tags. Like I said, not the best animal name, but it does work in a pinch and get your hands on some name tags. And they are already renamed for lack of any other better ideas. I just use my warp. That way you know where to come back and get named name tags. I do keep an eye on that shop pretty closer than more of my other shops because it is such a necessity. One of the places that you cannot buy name tags is in the auction house, and that is because they used to use name tags for auction house scams. Ever since they came out with the new bundle system, and you can go in, and if you look over here, it says hero rank 30 days, but it looks like a name tag. So a lot of people were renaming name tags and putting them up in auction house. I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot buy a rank in an auction house. So they took name tags out of the auction house. You will never be able to find one in there. And if you find a player and tell them to list it, they cannot do that. That's just not a thing. If you do choose to put your name tags in a shop, they do all have to have the same name, unfortunately, which is, again, one of the reasons why it's my city warp. I really wanted to do like stacks of fun names and then you get random names, but it did not work out that way. The other thing that you need to know is that the anvils here are broke as far as naming goes. So if I put an item in my anvil, and it's not going to matter what item, this should work. This should work in vanilla Minecraft. Let's give this thing a name. And it is back to what rotten flesh. It did take a couple of levels off of me. That was a very expensive rename for something I knew that was going to fail, but did it for you so you guys could see what will happen. So the only way that you can rename things here on Mineville is by purchasing it, and there's two ways to get it. Okay, so one way to get it is to go into the Mineville store and you want to find the rename perk, which is right here. It is only available on the game mode that you buy it on. So I am currently sitting on Earth, and if I were to buy this, I will get it on Earth. If I want it on one block, I gotta be in the one block game mode in order to buy it. So we will click on that. Okay, so it's about $10, but I will say that it is not limited time. It is kind of forever, which is one of the reasons why I went with that. That way, no matter what my rank is, I can still rename items. The other way is to get the demigod. So if you have a demigod rank, you can see in here that demigods also get the rename command. And you'll be able to know that they are a demigod rank because it will say above their name. It will say it in chat here, It will also say it, if you're in the Mindville Discord, they got like a metallic-y red name. That lets you know that they can name items. So once you got yourself a name tag, in order to name your pets, you got the name perk going on. What you want to do is you want to do / rename and then give it your name, whatever name you want. And then I renamed my name tag to Puppy. Does not take any XP. You can name as much as you want. I will say, however, if you are naming stacks and stacks of items, like let's say I wanted to fill my cell shop up. I have a cell shop over here for name tags. If I wanted to fill it up, it will filter it after 3 times, and then you have to wait a bit before you're allowed to use that exact same name again. So if I wanted to name an item, let's say I wanted to hand out a bunch of items to a player, and I just want to name tons of them, I either have to wait that little bit and then do another 3 stacks and wait a little bit to offset that filter, or I do need to change that name up slightly somehow. Maybe instead of City Warp Tea Time, I might do CW Tea Time. This one has some symbols on the end. I might just do Come to Tea Time or something along those lines. I gotta modify it. The other thing you can do, so all of these items here are named, is once you've named an item, you can go, this is how people do it. If you look right there where it says unbanned slurp and ×1, free slurp. What else we got? We got get everything you want on City Warp Best. You see how it says ×1? They are doing that by using the double square brackets and a lowercase I. And there I am, City Warp Tea Time. And it prints it in chat exactly how I have it on the item. Now, the nice thing about that is you can make your warp stand out in chat a little bit better without having the rank or without having to unlock some of the color codes. Otherwise, you would have the plain white chat. And if you have had Demi, you will have the dark red chat. But as you can see, the demigods chatting, it's all just dark red. It's not bolded. There's no glitch. There's no other colors. It's all a single color. And so you have that advantage when you use your items to advertise your shop. If you want to know how to get the color codes, I'm going to put a link in the description to the Minecraft wiki, but I am going to tell you that most color codes, or people who have done this before, tend to use this section symbol. Here in Mindville, you need to use the ampersand. Okay, so you can use this symbol to rename items. Let me go back and get that name tag and I'll show you one. So we will get my puppy. We're going to rename him. But I want it to be, say, like a color. So I would use the ampersand sign. I would use a color and then give it its name. I don't know. I'm spacing it on names. And now it is turquoise blue and it is Doug. If I'm doing something tricky like glitch, I want to have the glitch symbol first, the color, okay? And then it's not going to matter because it's going to glitch it. 3 other characters. Maybe I should use letters. Okay, 3 other characters of some sort. That did not work. If I want to glitch it, I messed that up. I got it backwards. If I want to glitch it, I need the color first and then the glitch code. And it's not going to matter however long I want the glitch. I have that many characters. So this is going to give me 6 glitched characters in that teal blue that we were seeing. And there we go. So it's not going to matter what characters I use for a glitch. So there's my glitch. And then I want to go back to regular. I want to do the R first. R for regular text. And then I'll give it some other color. And then type whatever it is I want. Some of the other things, let's see. If you don't have rename, obviously I went over, you can buy them out of your shop. I also use renamed items on item frames to kind of give you a hint. Like if the chickens don't spawn in your area, you can come here and buy eggs and then you can toss them to get the chickens. That's how I got chickens here. Or you can find a shop. Some players will advertise in chat or put a sign somewhere around their shop that says, I do free renames, or they will charge you and it'll be like renames 10K or something along those lines. You can look for players like that to get something renamed. You can hit them up in the Mindbuild Discord, say, hey, yo, who has rename perk or who's a demi to name things. I am going to give you a fair warning, though. If you have a vault item that you need renamed, highly, highly suggested to make sure it is a trusted player that will give you that item back. Because in order for them to rename the item, you have to give it to them and they have to hold it in their hand in order to rename it. And depending on how complicated that name is, don't get too super nervous right off the bat, because depending on how many codes and how complicated it is, it may take a little bit for them to name it. But there's no guarantee that they're going to give that item back. So you definitely want to make sure it's somebody that you trust or somebody that's trusted within the community. And if you're not too sure, you can always ask in the Discord chat. Especially some of the bigger players, they're real cool about it. I'll do a rename if I happen to be around. And I know a lot of other bigger players who are more than happy to maybe fix a tool for you or to rename a tool for you. So naming items are a lot of fun. That's how people advertise for their shops. This is my friend TN's Public Farm Warp. You can make it very long. It does make things kind of difficult when the name is real long, especially if you're going to put them on a sign or put them in the auction house. It messes up the boxes a bit. It shows a little bit nicer when it's in your inventory. Another fun thing that I did was over here, I have a Twitch banner. It doesn't like the word Twitch and it doesn't like the word YouTube. So, because it follows the same filter as the chat, so I just used the symbol and then named the banners and threw them in an item frame so that you could see the names of them. The other really neat thing that I did is over here in my vault, I named the armor stands. So when you hover over the armor, it will tell you what that particular armor is. Let me go see. I have rank sets over here. So these I find really handy. Like if you're doing a shop for armor, you can put them next. You could put an armor stand like this next to your shops. And so that way they know that they are buying demi armor or they know that they are buying champion armor because it's not going to show on the shop chest. I also did that with my armor trims, so then I know what the name of the armor trims are. And then some players also use renames to send you sweet little notes, which I keep around my base. The other really cool thing with rename is that you don't always need a name tag. If you have a pet that's in a bucket, your axolotls, your tadpoles, I don't know, if you have tropical fish, right? Oh, matter of fact, I got one. Bucket of tropical fish, right? I can rename him in the bucket. Now, when I put this fish in water, he will have a name, and I didn't have to use a name tag. So the bucket animals are really nice in that aspect. I think that is all there really is about rename. A lot of it is experimenting with the color codes. And like I said, I am going to put a link in the description to the Minecraft wiki. They do use the section symbol, but you want the ampersand instead. But all of the color codes and all of the formatting codes for glitch, regular, bold, those all work here, and those are all the same. And outside of that, I think that pretty much kind of covers everything about rename. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.